What's up, Kansas City? I'm your host, Glenn Bryan Frizzell. Today's special segment is brought to you by the Kansas City Business Association. We are filming today in the 18th and Vine Jazz District right here at the Lincoln Building. Today's special guest is serving as the interim superintendent of the Kansas City, Missouri Public School District. Prior to that, he served as the chief financial officer in the district. Please, let's give a warm what's up, Kansas City welcome to interim superintendent Allan Tunis.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's wonderful to have you here, Mr. Tunis. I would like to start by throwing out some national news. President Obama recently signed a new version, updated version of the No Child Left Behind Act, which is the Every Student Succeeds Act. It says the national government, federal, is going to scale back and the states are going to have more accountability. How does this translate in Kansas City Public School language?
Well, I think that any time that something could be decentralized or defederalized, in this case, will be of benefit to not just Kansas City, but to all school districts in the state. And so we're working very closely with our Department of Elementary and Secondary Education, really working through all the components and how and what the impact will be on all of us individually. It will put greater control with the state of Missouri from the federal government, which will allow us to have greater input on decisions that are made, on accountability, assessments, and hopefully even funding that will be able to increase that level of funding to help support programs we currently have for our children in Kansas City.
And you sound like you will be a continued advocate for this.
Absolutely, we will. We've been very much in support and appreciated the president's signature and look forward to the positive outcome that this will play for our kids.
Let's talk a little bit about another news item that has made headlines within the last couple of weeks. Kansas City School District to explore charter school partnership with the Kansas City Chamber of Commerce, called tentatively, I assume, Kansas City Neighborhood Academy. How is this different from a magnet school?
Well, first of all, I think a magnet school would specialize, and we had magnet schools back during the desegregation era.
I remember
in our district. Yeah, and you know, we specialized. Those were schools that were under the complete control of the school district, and they had a specialized component to it. This particular arrangement is a charter school. The Kansas City Neighborhood Association would be a charter school that would be sponsored by the Kansas City Public School District. We aren't sponsoring any other charter schools at this time, but it will allow us to provide input, assistance for that charter school to make sure that it is as successful as it can possibly be. We bring a lot of resources to other schools in our infrastructure, whether it's through accountability, through finance, whatever it might be. We've got a structure in place that will be of assistance. It will also allow us to help serve our community more effectively because we can identify what students they might serve, the location that they would be in, and as their sponsor have more involvement and more input in the services they provide to our students.
Really, now a complaint that I've heard is, well, why is Kansas City getting involved in charter schools? Why not take those resources and allocate them to the schools? You know, we're taking away from schools that need resources and we're providing them to a charter school.
Well, we really won't be taking or diverting any of our resources other than those that will be provided from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education.
Really?
Based on the number of students that are actually in enrollment through, or that will be enrolled through the charter school, that revenue will be new revenue that will come to the district, and that revenue will be what we invest back in our involvement with them.
And as far as those who complain and say time and energy is actually, we're wasting time and energy,
I don't believe that we waste it at all. I think that if we were to look at the kind of a relationship that we should have with our charter schools, it's one of collaboration. And in order to collaborate, you've got to be able to invest time and energy. That's what we want to do. We want to invest time and energy to provide the best service and the best educational program for all children and their families in Kansas City.
Now, we've had members of the school board on recently. We had Ms. Robinson. I believe we talked to Mr. Evans in the past, and we look forward. We spoke to Mr. Barnes. We look forward to speaking with more. We always extend the invitation to have members of the community come and talk to us about education. The master plan. Can you tell us a little bit about this master plan? We're closing Southwest Early College. This is part of the plan, the Southwest Early College campus. How is this different from 2010 when 28 buildings were closed?
Well, first of all, we're looking in this master plan to close just 3. And when those buildings were closed back in 2010, we also eliminated 900 positions. And so it was a significant impact in our community at that time. This is to close 3 schools. It allows us then to divert those resources to provide better and greater educational opportunities for children. One of the things that we've heard, and we've heard it from our kids themselves, when they say we're looking for more electives or more extracurricular activities and opportunities, this is a way that we're going to be able to do that. Oftentimes, our schools are so small that we can't offer the kind of variety that our students are looking for.
Now, Superintendent Tunis, does better mean different? Is there a different educational philosophy that we are advocating now?
I don't know that it's
It's been a while since I've been out of school. I know it's also
Sure.
been a while since others have been out of school. Does what worked in the 70s and 80s work for today?
No, I think that we constantly are evaluating the programs that we have based on the interests of our students. Look at what technology has done and the impact technology plays on our instructional program. And so we've got to be able to adapt to those programs and utilize the technology to the greatest advantage for our kids.
And another part of this master plan, rather, is to phase in over 2 years year-round school for 4 of the lowest performing schools. Is that also?
Right. Again, one of the things wanting to do is to redivert those resources. We want to start with one school, iron out the kinks in a year-round program. That year-round program really allows children to be in their classroom for a longer, extended period of time, but they would have the same resources that they would have throughout the normal school year. So they're working with their classroom teacher. There's not much downtime throughout the year. There's not much lag time. What we have seen in the research that we have found is that the amount of growth, academic growth that we see in a student is significant when they're in and engaged in meaningful educational activities year-round.
Now, just a couple of questions ago, you mentioned technology. I would like to ask you, how do we get students, we know that students are interested in technology, but when test scores are released, we're still performing low in science and math and other areas. What, in your opinion, why is that?
Well, I think it takes time. I don't believe that there's a silver bullet. I don't think that we can go to the shelf and grab this product or this line and implement it and everything's going to be right by the world. I think that we need to work hard, and technology is a piece of that. We have a 3-year academic plan, and in that academic plan, we're drilling down to develop learning plans for every child so that whether they're a high academic performer or they need remediation, the instructional program is designed directly to them. And it's going to take time. It's not going to happen overnight. It's a big ship. It's moving slowly. We have improvements that we need to make, but every year we're constantly making academic improvements to get to the level that we want to be.
And we know that there are certainly bright stories, success stories within our school districts. And we do know that there are other challenges that some students face other than, that certainly weigh in as a factor on those test scores. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, your childhood? I understand you're from the Midwest.
I am born and raised in Detroit and lived there until I was 26 years old. I'm now 64, and so most of my professional career has been here in Kansas City. We moved north of the river back in 1978, and I've been a part of the educational community since I arrived here, and 43 years in public education.
And where did you go to college?
Wayne State University in Detroit.
Wayne State, that's awesome. We have to talk afterwards. You mentioned that you came here in '78, and you've also worked with Metropolitan Community College?
Correct. I came in 1978, worked with the Park Hill School District, and came as an elementary principal. Moved into the district office as the assistant superintendent for business. I was in Park Hill for about 21 years, and then moved to the Metropolitan Community College for another 10 as their vice chancellor of administrative services before coming to Kansas City Public Schools in 2011.
And how did you get involved with the financial side, Mr. Tunis?
Probably by accident. I was involved on the instructional side. I was an elementary principal, and an opportunity became available to learn the business practices of a public school, and I took advantage of it.
Can you tell us a little bit about your plans? I understand that there are two candidates who we are considering for the permanent position. You served as interim since Dr. Green's resignation. We've had him on the show. We did not know he was resigning at the time to be the superintendent in Daley County in near Atlanta, Georgia. I believe how long you?
6 months ago.
6 months ago. But you're not being considered for the, why is that?
As I indicated, I have 43 years in public education. I think my career is behind me, and I think what this district needs is to maintain the stable environment that we're currently experiencing, something that will take the district on into the future. I have a love for this district right now and enjoy the opportunity I've been given to serve in this role, in this capacity, and whatever I can do to help keep things going, keep the momentum going, keep the upward direction going. I want to be a part of that. But I think long-term solution, we need to create and find that stable environment for this district.
Can you give us a sneak preview of who the district is considering? Or?
I don't have any idea.
Okay, are you going to stay with the district when we hear that?
You know, I think I want to be able to find out what it is that person needs. Again, as I've told to our Board of Education, I want to do whatever I can do to help. And I would ask I make the same question and the same commitment to whomever that person is that replaces Dr. Green on a permanent basis, and do whatever I can to help assist in any way I can.
Now, these two candidates are from out of town. You mentioned you have been here for since '78. How do out-of-town candidates have our best interests at heart? We know that the last 3 or 4 haven't been here, for more than 5 or 6, 10 years. Ideally, what we would hope a superintendent would invest within the district. You are passionate about the district. Someone out of town share that same passion?
Oh, I think that one of the things that our Board of Education is doing is taking the time that's necessary to identify the right candidate to take this position. And my encouragement to that successful person would be, depend on the people that are around you. We've got a great team. We've made great progress in the last 4 years, and that progress can continue, and we need to allow the people in that team to continue to work together, maintain that level of stability, and I think that progress will just fall right in place.
Now, I like the theme of the new charter school that is a collaboration between the school district and the Kansas City Chamber of Commerce. How does that theme resonate, the theme of improving our neighborhoods, improving our schools? How does that resonate across the board, across the whole district?
Well, I think, I think that's exactly what we're trying to do. One of the things our Board of Education takes great pride in is making sure that we've met and we engage our community in meaningful conversation. And so we're doing a lot of that. The master plan is an example where we're really trying to extend an outreach into our community, find out what it is that the community is looking for and what they need. And so this is a step toward involving the community in the decision-making process, but also we want to involve our community in all of the things that go on in each of our schools. We are a terrific asset to Kansas City. We need to use this asset. We have buildings in every neighborhood that we need to use. We need to bring our community into those buildings. We need evening activities. We need weekend activities. And I think we become very much a full-service community school district when we do that. Kansas City is resource rich. We've got a lot of philanthropic and service agencies all wanting to help. The school district can serve in that role of really being the nucleus to bring all those agencies together.
Now, I would like to ask just for your opinion. I don't know if there's a definite answer. This is a conversation I started earlier, but the district had 14,228 students, Mr. Tunis, enrolled at the start of this school year. That's compared to 77,000 students when my parents were going to the attending school districts in Kansas City in the 1960s. What's been happening to our neighborhoods and our school population?
Great question. And I think if you look at Kansas City as a whole, as well as the Kansas City School District, there have been a number of issues that have occurred during that period of time. Number one, we look at the population. population is just different. Not just the school age population, but the population of Kansas City has shifted during that period of time. As far as the school district's concerned, there have been a couple of other major issues that have faced the district. One is the annexation of part of the district to Independence, where a number of students then attended the Independent School District, and then with the creation of the charter legislation, there are about 10,000 students that are currently enrolled in charter schools that are not part of that 14,000 number.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for your assessment there. Last question, and I'll give you the final words. We're talking about possibly closing Southwest Early College campus. That name alone is a link to students. They know that after school they're expected to get a job, or perhaps go to college. What are we doing to ensure that that link lasts?
Well, one of the reasons that we're doing this is to do that very thing, is we want that link to last. We want to provide greater opportunities for all kids, not just the kids that are currently at Southwest, but kids across the district. And so by doing this, we're going to be able to expand our educational opportunities for kids. We're going to expand electives. We're going to be able to expand extracurricular and co-curricular activities and continue to raise the rigor and provide quality education for all students. And I think by doing that and implementing this change, we're going to be able to be more successful for all kids in Kansas City.
Superintendent Allan Tunis, any final words for us?
Just, I think that Kansas City is a great place to be, and we're on the upward bound. We've got work to do. It takes a village to raise a child, and so whether you're a parent or whether you're a community member from a civic organization, a philanthropic group, the faith-based community, we're all in it together. We're working together, and I think we have evidence of that, and we want to continue to do that because it's best for Kansas City and certainly best for our children.
Yes, Interim Superintendent Mr. Tunis, it does take a village to raise a child, and as we know, we've heard countless times from our President Barack Obama and his wife, Michelle, their story. Education is the key that will unlock many doors. We'd like to thank, here on What's Up Kansas City, Mr. Tunis for joining us here today. How can our viewers reach you?
Our number is 816-418-7800. We can be reached through our website at kcpublicschools.org. A great deal of information is obtained there, and you'll also be able to provide input there as well.
We'd like to thank you for appearing on our show and for steering the ship the last 5-6 months. We wish you the best, Mr. Tunis, and we hope that this show will facilitate a dialogue. For more What's Up Kansas City video, check out www.whatsupkansascity.net. And remember, the sky's the limit. Aim high. Shoot for the moon. If you miss, at the very least, you would have landed among the stars. Take care until next time.